I can't see you. Good evening. Good evening. It is Wednesday, January 26th of 2022. We are live on Spotify. We are live on my Facebook page, Sunshine Camila, Kamela. We are live on the YouTube channel. Same name of the show on Spotify as well. I have a great guest tonight. AB, you here?
I am. Can you see me or hear me?
I can hear you, but I can't see you.
Hold on a second.
So we have a wonderful guest tonight. There you are. You kind of sideways, but
Sideways?
yes, you're sideways. How did your picture get up? So we're having a great time tonight. I'm glad to be, of course, there we go, in the land of the living. So it could have been another way, but we're here. Again, I've had a wonderful week so far, and I have a wonderful guest who he got them chops in his throat.
Oh boy.
He getting these bags out here with what he does. I'm so excited that he is on here this evening. I'm gonna give a short bio of this wonderful man, and then we're gonna get into the conversation. So just a tad bit of who he is and what he does. Ace Geo of Northern League is soulful, energetic, yet commanding. His music is thought-provoking, fun, and timeless. When asked about his musical branding journey, Ace says, the mission has always been to create timeless music that reached beyond your typical radio play. The Northern League belief is that quality should always overcome quantity. And by teaching the artist the business behind the music, in addition to nurturing their talents, the results should always produce longevity. Ace has written, co-written, and featured on a plethora of songs, and we're gonna get into that, throughout various genres with over 1,000 placements in film, television, and video games. I did say he getting the bag, right? I know I said that. Since 2006, landing a production deal with Manhattan Studios in Manhattan, New York, Ace transitioned from being the artist management to an artist and writer for Northern League, co-creating a catalog that will place music featured in HBO's Entourage, Showtime's Weeds, as well as a number of series from MTV, VH1. In 2008, Northern League's debut release, Wet Paint, would certify their success with songs featured in Stump the Yard, Tyler Perry, Medea's Family Reunion, and this list could go on and on and on. When I tell you this man,
we're trying over
in the bag out here. He's good at what he does. I want you guys to welcome Ace to the show.
Hold on. Thank you for having me. I really appreciate you. Definitely having me over here and going over all the credits. And I look forward to having this conversation with you.
Listen, I had your partner in crime on here last week with Manny James.
Yeah, that's my man.
I'm like, I didn't know it was possible how you can be getting a bag like this and still be so humble as if you're not. And I'm excited to have you on the show so we can get into this. So
just regular.
I usually ask again. I tell people how I know the person. Now, I've never met Ace in person, but we've been going back and forth on music or just checking out things. Where are you from?
Connecticut.
Here we go again with that. So also I met him through Dr. Cookie, who I had on the show not too long ago, and she recommended Ace to me. Ace recommended Manny James to me. And so this is how the 6 degrees of separation comes in effect. Again, my whole motto is I believe in 6 degrees of separation. You're one person away, one advice away, one help away from where you need to be in your destiny. It's been proven over and over again since I started this podcast. And here we are again in the 6 degrees of separation, and here you are talking to me. So
it's been all a blessing.
man, so when did you know that music was your thing?
Probably late, actually probably early 2000s, early 2000s, maybe even going back as far as probably the 90s, honestly, because in the 90s I had my producer, right, who's my current producer right now. He had a deal signed right out of high school, and so he was signed with, at that time, Polygram Records. So we got a chance to go to New York and really meet some incredible people and learn from a lot of really great people, Charles Farrar, Troy Taylor, characters at the time, who are still very active in the music business right now. Kedar Massenberg, so a lot of great people who I was able to kind of be that fly on the wall in the room and see how they operate, which I think is why I've been able to kind of stand the test of time and be around for so long. So I had a lot of great people to just shadow. Mm-hmm. So I would say late 90s, going into the 2000s.
So 90s, 2000, this is after high school, correct?
Yeah, way after high school.
So with that being said, like, were you musically inclined in school? Like, did you go to the arts program? How did you just find music?
It was funny. Well, again, my producer partner, he was a DJ, so I was always the guy in the clubs while he was DJing. I was always the dancer. So I was the backup guy. So which later led me, as I was going through high school, I was able to leave high school early to go to the middle school and teach dance class for after school programs. So I mean, from there it kind of transitioned into what else can we do with this, and as he's DJing, it became let's go to do different shows, and let's you MC, you start writing, and I'll start DJing and performing out. And, it was built that way, basically.
When it comes to the genre of music, now in your intro, it said that there is no specific one that you gravitate to, or is all of that?
Yeah, it's all of that. I'm a music junkie, so like I can have a playlist on that'll range from the Rat Pack, Sinatra, Dean Martin, to traditional Motown, Temptations, and then obviously the hip hop stuff, but then Maverick City gospel stuff. You know what I mean? So I'm like all across the board. And then every now and then you might catch me with some rock on in the morning, some heavy metal on in the morning. So reggae. I mean, I love it all. There's any particular genre that I haven't listened to and paid attention to and fell in love with. I love music in general. Mm-hmm. So as far as my personal art, I never wanted to necessarily be put into a box or, qualified as, you're just a hip hop artist, you're just this artist, you're just that artist. I've always been able to navigate through all the genres. So that's been my bread and butter right there.
Obviously. So I know I talked with Manny about like, how did they come up with writing music or having that aha moment, like, this is what I'm going to do for the rest of my life?
I think that aha moment, it hit me when I first started this whole thing with Northern League. I was actually supposed to be the manager of the group. And the company that we were working with at the time, they were like, yo, the only way we'll do this is if you can be involved. So, and it used to be funny. It used to be funny to a lot of people because there's certain tones that I can hit that are reminiscent of like a Jay-Z at times. So it used to be like, I did a demo playing around and somebody was like, yo, that's a new Jay song. And I was like, oh man, this is maybe I do got something here, but obviously I can't do the Jay-Z thing. You know what I'm saying? you know, so we got to, you know, so it became a funny thing for me to play around with. But then just learning to use my voice in different tones, different fluctuations, that was probably my aha moment. The fact that I kind of used my tones to sound like one thing or another thing, whether somebody might call me up and say, hey, you know, we need a song that sounds like Flow Rider, or we need a song that sounds like 50 Cent or whatever at the time. And I would be able to go in and mimic that almost to a T. And I think that my aha moment was a big, like, yo, you can do this. You can really do this and maintain in it. And then being able to just utilize my voice, it allowed me to become a chameleon. Mm-hmm. You know, that's I think the chameleon factor was really my big aha moment. Like, wow, I can actually manipulate my voice through a lot of genres and a lot of different things. So
did you have another job prior to that? Like, you know how we, do other things to make ends meet before we actually get to the aha moment?
Of course, my other job, I've always been like business management. I've been an entrepreneur for a long time, but I also do finance. So I've done finance for a very, very long time for personal finance, for vehicle finance. I mean, I've done it. Bad credit, good credit, that whole stuff. I was the guy to get you right. So that was what kept me busy for a long time.
Yeah. So take us through a day in the life of Ace. Like, what does it look like from the time you wake up to, you lay your head on the pillow?
It's a lot of hustling and a lot of family. I start the morning off, or start the day off with my daughter, making her breakfast, taking her to school. In that whole time, I'm getting like 5 or 6 text messages or 3 calls. I do that. I'm in the process of starting, a few other branches of what Northern League is about to become. So I'm taking calls for that. It's honestly a lot of phone time. That's mainly my main part of the day. And then it's business, it's finance, it's talking to people, it's trying to make connections with people. It's trying to help people grow, trying to help people out of situations, and trying to mentor people. And then I still have to find time to be a friend, a father, a husband, and all the above. So I'm tired. I'm not gonna lie. It's tired. It's exhausting. But you just make it work.
Absolutely. And the point I'm trying to get at is the importance of a balanced life. You can't be all business and nothing over here to, subside. Sometimes I know with being overwhelmed, there comes the stress level. There comes if you don't have an outlet, sometimes there's ways of us making mistakes, not getting out everything, exercise and all of this stuff. So what does that look like for you to eliminate mistakes and stress?
I think my for me to eliminate stress, I rely a lot on family and good friends that I can call and talk to. And like lately, especially like recently, family has been a lot, just dealing with this whole pandemic stuff. So to be able to make those connections to family that you may have lost along the way, like you just got lost communication, whatever, and, or just refine that happiness and that that joy in just being around family and hearing people laugh and stuff like that. That's the huge de-stressor for me. I have a very small group of friends that I call them. They're not friends. They're my brothers. You know what I mean? Manny. My man Joe Boyd. I got a lot of brothers that get me through it, and we talk on a daily basis, and just bounce ideas off, or just don't bounce ideas. We just call each other and just laugh and just stab at each other. So it gives you a good. That helps me with my good balance.
Okay. So, first of all, but we all know that Ace is not your real name. So how did you get that name?
The Ace name, that's a long story. So originally, again, me being involved with Northern League as a manager, when I went to pick up one of the other artists that were involved with Northern League, I came in and I was in a suit. I had the cashmere coat on, the gator shoes on. I was, dripped out head to toe. And somebody in there said, "Yo, you look like the Black Asa Buchanan of the hood." And I'm like, Asa Buchanan? Who's Asa Buchanan? And then I have to Google it. And I'm like, okay, Asa Buchanan is a boss from some what is it, soap opera, right? One Life to Live, All My Children, one of those things. And I was like, all right, cool. I'm gonna be Ace. I'm gonna be Asa, because that was his name, Asa Buchanan. So I ended up being at a party in New York and ran into Latanya Blige, Mary J. Blige's sister, and she asked me my name, and I said Asa, and she's like, huh? She said Asa. She's like, huh? I said Ace. And she is like, all right, yeah, I was gonna tell you're gonna have to shorten that name up. So you're Ace. So that just Asa kind of morphed into Ace, and then it kind of shortened into AB. And there's a lot of popular ABs around here. So, musically, I just went back into my real name is George. So I just took the Ace part and took the Geo part and became Ace Geo. And there you have it. That's me in a nutshell.
I'm like, because when Cookie introduced me, she said, "Yeah, I'm gonna get you with my boy AB."
Yeah.
And I'm like, when I'm looking at things, I'm like, okay, so where does AB fall in at? Like, I don't see it. And so you're explaining it, and I'm like, okay, so now I understand Ace Geo with short of George and now the Ace. I'm still not figuring out where the AB come in at.
That AB came in from the original soap opera dude, Asa Buchanan.
Ah, got you.
AB. But then there's so many ABs, good and bad nowadays, that I just was like, you know what? And everybody, and it's crazy because all the DJs be like, yo, AB, 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 you know what I'm saying? So it's again, the transition. I just had to make that transition from, Asa to AB to Ace Geo. And Ace Geo is more me anyway, you know what I mean? Because I'm George, my father's name is George, so I always stand by my name, you know what I mean? There's a lot of important Georges in the world. So I'm one.
So let's get into this bag.
Oh boy.
I got a list, a link,
yeah,
of all of this material that you produced, and I was like, wow, how do you do that?
It's been by the grace of God. It's been a blessing to just be able to do it and be around great people that I've had great partners. I've had great influences and great writing partners, first and foremost. But when we first got into this, we wanted to create a catalog house, and my partner FS Fred, he was working in that industry, and it was just like we put together, almost a year's worth of music just recording. And once those songs, kind of got out into the public, again, blessings. We were blessed to be able to be picked up by certain things. And the music that we were making at the time was very energetic. It was fun. It brought you back to the cookout where you want to just get up and dance. And it was feel good music, so, and people like that because when we were dealing with a lot of companies, people were like, yeah, there's so much hip hop, but it's so hard. It's so this, it's so that. And, we kind of gave everybody like a breath of fresh air, so it was easy to deal with our music. Our music was clean. We didn't have to do radio edits. So I pride myself and my camp prides ourselves on being able to, write a full song without having to curse and do all that stuff. I have children, when my mom was around, I didn't want my mom to be hearing me saying all them bad words. So, we put our pride in the pen and just work our way around it. And for the fact that the company saw us as a one-stop shop and understood that there was no red tape, we owned everything, we recorded everything, we mixed it, mastered it, engineered it, and it was clean on top of that. It was just easy for them. It was easy for them to, pair us up with Wendy's or Pepsi or CSI Miami, Stomp the Yard, Ray Donovan, Entourage. I became, what I became over the years. I've become the Charlie Sheen, that jingle guy, the 3.5 Men guy without all the drama, So yeah, it's been a good blessing being able to have good writing partners and good people around you who have the same goals. That's mainly what's kept me here.
One of the things that stuck out to me, of course, we always look at the Q and the Q, which is quality versus quantity.
Right.
And I felt like that is the key to longevity, is having the quality. We look at some of the artists that have crossed the decades, is because of the quality and not necessarily the quantity. And what was the thing that made you decide, look, we're not just in here just making it just to be making it, but we want it to be quality products that we put out. And as you can see, those moments that you said it, you done it, here come that bag to come behind it, and I'm sure you're still getting royalties from the things that you already put out.
Yeah, which is the great thing. I mean, we've been blessed to be able. I call it, and Manny said it to you the other day. I call it mailbox money. You know what I mean? It's that money's going to come to you quarterly. So like let's think of Stomp the Yard. Stomp the Yard came out in what, 2008, 2009. Yeah. So every time that's on BET, Stars, wherever the case, I get a little piece of that. Every time it runs. So over the years, all that builds up. So like, it was funny for me looking at Netflix at once upon a time, where Netflix has Orange is the New Black on, Weeds on, Stomp the Yard, and they had CSI and like a bunch of other shows. And I'm like, good, because as long as this is streaming, it's coming in.
Still getting paid.
I'm waiting on the mailman to come. So yeah, it's been crazy. And then for me, when I go back, and like I said earlier, I'm a music junkie. So when I go back and listen to anything from Temptations, My Girl, there's a reason why they created that song then, and it's still playing and popular now. You know what I mean? Or a Kool and the Gang song, or Earth, Wind and Fire song. Those are timeless songs. There was quality in that made those songs timeless. And that's all I want to do. I want to approach hip hop or R&B like everything that we were going to create, we were creating it to be a single. I think when artists are building their catalogs, they're like, okay, you know what, we're gonna do a single here, single there, and then we're gonna do the rest, filler for the album. We wanted to attack it as everything we do needs to be a single. It needs to be treated as that. And I think that's what landed us in so many different places, on top of it, again, being clean. So
That I'm glad you brought up, some of the people that you have said. Um, I work in a room full of, a couple of people, and I'm like the DJ, right? So I have my phone. I know what I like.
you got the
I
turn,
know what, huh?
you got the
No,
turntable.
not the turntable. No, the DJ on my phone. So, um, so I'm controlling like what we listen to. Of course, we have a mixture of age, race, everything. So you can't just play all what we call deemed black music. And I mix it up or whatever. But the underlying thing is understanding and peeping who's responding, what they like, ask questions to say, okay, who's your favorite artist? If I always ask this question, like if you were in front of somebody, you had the opportunity to talk someone, be in concert with, write a song with, collab with, whatever, with somebody dead or alive, who would you say? And so, we always get the Prince, we always get the Michael Jackson, we always get the, like Manny said, the James Brown, the Otis Redding,
Right.
classic people. Because again, I feel like for me, being born the year I was born, I'm not gonna say, music in the 80s, or the like mid late 70s was feel good music to me. I
Absolutely.
can I can relate, even though I was young. I was watching my parents, move, dance, social, all of these things that I want to go back to my childhood where I knew what love looked like. I heard what love looks like. And what we felt like were dance music, um, from some of the shows now. I'm not a hip hop person, because personal reasons. I don't know what you're talking about. I have no idea. I am ignorant to a lot of things, and so I'm not out here doing that. So the beat might be nice, but I don't know what you're talking about. I can't relate to that. So no, I'm not going to buy it. But if you come on the other side and say, look, I got an R&B song, a timeless hit from a Marvin Gaye or Teddy Pendergrass, my ears is all open because that's what I grew up with in my home. And
Absolutely.
so when you said, quality over quantity, and it's the timeless hits that'll keep on going for generations to generations, even when you're passed on, your children will be still eating off of your what you did.
Facts. That's 100% right. That's 100% right. I mean, I just think, for me, just this music, like you said, when you hear a Frankie Beverly and Maze song, you know exactly what you need to do. You know where you need to go. You know what I'm saying? When you hear an Al Green song, you know what's going on. Like Marvin Gaye song, So to be able to have bits of influence and put that into, a new age way of thinking, a new age way of processing music. There's a lot we can do. Right now, everything sounds the same. Everything on the radio sounds like, and for an artist, it's being able to transition throughout the times. And I think I've been again blessed to be able to make music of a certain year and then be able to still create something that somebody can go, hey, you know what? We can put that on the radio right now because it happens to sound like that. So I can say that I enjoy making all of it. I enjoy making all of it because now it's like a challenge. It's like, okay, let me see if I can fit into this time. You know what I mean? Let me see if I can fit into this Jay-Z has been somebody who's been able to stand the test of time and come out over year after year after year and still be very relevant. So he is obviously is someone who everyone in hip hop looks up to, especially myself. Um, but if I had to choose someone that I would want to make music with, and it's not your traditional person, I'm a huge Jim Morrison fan. You probably don't even know who Jim Morrison is, do you? Got you. You don't. The Doors. You know who the Doors are? It's a
I
rock band.
heard of them.
So I'm a huge Jim Morrison fan, and in the Doors, I think Jim Morrison was an artist that predicted a lot of things. You know, he was somebody who said in the '70s, I visualized music being not all this big band stuff, but one guy standing on stage with a box or some type of contraption and just hitting something and the stadium or the crowd's going wild. He predicted that in the '70s, what's going on right now, where you have all these big EDM or techno DJs, or even these hip hop things, or even stuff like what Kanye does, where it's just a beat machine and him, you know, on stage in front of millions of people. I think Jim Morrison's writing ability for rock was very, very detailed, very dark at times, very passionate at times. I think he kind of epitomized the rock star lifestyle, which obviously caught up to him. But he was just overall a great writer and a great talent, and he would be one person that I would want to sit in a room with and have a conversation with and create with. So Jim Morrison, that's my guy.
So, being a creative person,
Yep.
you draw from a lot of things that you either experience, someone else is talking about, or I'm a nature person. And
Mm.
so being outside um does a lot for me, especially being by water. Do you have those similar situations with you as well, like when you're writing or a beat comes to your mind?
I'm a Pisces, so we love the water. But what works for me? Just riding around. I can get in the car and just ride around for hours, get on the highway with no destination, and just listen to music, and all the ideas just come at that point in time. And I'm either putting them in a voice memo or stopping and writing down. There's been times where I just go, or I'll go sit in the park, and just write. And yeah, you hear those sounds. You know what I mean? You hear everything, all those bits and pieces of nature. I go to sleep at night and I'm listening to rain, white noise. But yeah, I think everything's connected. All those are all connected. So whether it's just the peacefulness of the park, or the crashing of the waves, or just the raindrops, I think it's all connected into sounds and frequencies and stuff like that. So I definitely feel you on that.
Also, I know I have a big imagination, big, 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 and
You
I'm a
got
movie lover. So a lot of times
a
it's,
lover?
huh?
You said you're a movie lover?
Movie lover, yes.
Okay.
So a lot of times it's the wishful thinking that allows me to, go to pen, or for some, it's some things that I want to say but shouldn't say. Those moments, or the moment where you look at yourself now and turn back and be like, if I could go back to when I was 10 years younger,
Mhm.
I would say this to you of, encouragement. Um, I'm torn between R&B and gospel. So that whole like, I want to go there, but I can't. Or should I go there? Or you gonna, so those moments like that when it comes to writing, singing, um, getting out there to, if I could say one thing, like and having that platform to do it is the awesome part of creating, especially music, your lyrics. This is what you want to say, and no one has judgment on what you want to say because it's freedom of speech, and no one can control what your heart says.
Right. And if it comes from your heart, it's going to come out natural. It's organic, and people gravitate to it because it's so real. You know, it's people have had those and shared those same thoughts at times. You know, the stuff that you sent me. You know, I was like, okay, okay, she holding back a little bit.
Yeah, because you have those moments sometimes as artists. You don't know. Well, I don't know. Um, what's the lane or what is too much, um and having a moment of deciphering, is this really you or is this just an imagination? And so again, I could go there, but do I really want the backlash of if I do?
I mean, is this so? So what you just said, is this really you, or is it your imagination? Aren't they one and the same? It's you. It's your thoughts, right?
Yes.
I mean, if you're having those thoughts, you know, whether they're dark thoughts, whether they're, you know, fantasy thoughts, whatever the case they are. I mean, it's you. It's a part of you that you just, for whatever reason, you're shelving out. don't don't shelf yourself. Like, don't censor yourself. Why? You know, unless you have a particular like or specific belief, you know, because I've worked with artists that were, you know, so about about strict religion that they couldn't say certain things, or they didn't want to, you know, be in a video or do a certain thing. I respect that 100%. But if that's not the case, why censor yourself? Here's what I got out of listening to you to some of the stuff that you created. I was like, she's a disruptor, and she doesn't realize it. You're a disruptor, and you're holding back. Like, you can say some stuff and do some stuff and really get in there and disrupt the machine if you wanted to. I don't know what you're waiting for, because you should do it. But
Wow. I
that's
guess,
just me. That's
and when we're talking, to be honest and transparent, a lot of times it's um I guess the confidence on certain areas. Like when you've been in a place where no one chooses you, and you're always in the background saying, I'm here, I'm here, I'm here. Do you see me? Do you see me? No, you don't. Oh, okay. So I guess I'm not good enough. And then I wrote some of that stuff like years ago, and I've never done anything with it.
Here's the thing for me, in regards to you and women in general. All women in general should never, ever, ever feel like they are not good enough. That should, and I know it's so hard to break that down, but that thought should never cross your mind. When you have to think about a woman, all right, and this might go somewhere completely different. You're the strongest thing on this planet next to God. You create life. Who's stronger than you? So for someone to tell you that you're not good enough, come on. Like, you have all the strength. I can't do what you do. You know what I mean? I'm not as strong as you are. Your husband isn't as strong as you are, regardless of what he thinks. You know what I
Right.
mean? You create, you bear life. So I'm always like, you know, we always need to push and and as a black man, we need to be there for our women and encourage them when they feel down, and remind them. We need to give them reminders that, don't forget you're a queen. Don't forget you're strong. You know what I mean? It's I think it comes across sometimes in the music we create. I think it comes on just these one-on-one conversations. You know, we we all need to have more conversations like this, to where we can acknowledge the fact that, yes, you are strong. Yes, you are mighty. You are a woman. I tell my daughter every day, when she leaves me, I say, be great. She says nothing less. That's something that we've been doing since birth. You know what I mean? She's a warrior. She's a princess. She's proud. She walks strong. And I think you should walk that way as well in your craft, with your art, whatever you want to say. Don't second guess yourself. Your
Mhm.
word, there's so much strength in your words, because those thoughts that you're having, there's so many other women that are out there that are feeling the same exact way, that are having those same thoughts, but they're afraid to say it. But if you say it for them, then they're going to be in the car listening to you, and they're going to be quietly saying it, repeating it over and over again, and they're going to pull strength from you, and then boom, you got your chain reaction. So don't
Absolutely.
be afraid to share your strength. Just remember that you have it. Just remember that you have that power.
Amen. Amen. Yeah, I have a vault of things that those moments, like I said, when I wasn't in a good place, dark places that I wrote, the sheer part of going into your sexuality. I don't know why it's going there, but all of these different things of phases where I had to write to, to be free.
Right.
Sometimes where your mouth is gagged to not say because you're in the wrong space, you're in the wrong relationship, you're in the wrong whatever. And if I say, then I have to deal with what comes with what I say. So a lot of times when you have a person who plays chess in her mind, and you're right, I do hold back a lot because I don't feel like some people can handle what I'm going to say. And so I do censor myself because once I push, then I'm waiting for either your reaction or I'm already 5 steps ahead of you. Now you got to play catch up.
Right. Right. I mean, the loudest voice you have to overcome is yours all the time.
Absolutely.
So I
Absolutely.
don't. I definitely, for you personally, I don't think you should censor yourself at all. I think you should put it out there, and I think let them deal with it. Put it out. The world is such a sensitive place right now. Put it out there. Let them deal with it. Let them figure it out. Either there's some people that's going to take it, some people that's going to leave it. It's not for everybody.
Absolutely. And I mean, we talked about this. I said it. I think I sent some stuff to Manny today, and I was just like, well, they're already there. What do they really think? Like, do I have it? Do I not have it? Um, sometimes, like I said, in a creative space, sometimes, like I said, these things that I sent you guys were years ago that I have a book that I wrote that I still haven't published yet. And that was written in 2010. And so sometimes again, I don't know if it was fear. I don't know. But that part of where I was, I'm no longer there.
Right.
So I'm like, do I leave it there? Do I go forward? But again, this conversation is not about me. This is supposed to be about you, and your
It's,
music, and you going forth and getting it back. And I'm all like, listen, y'all gotta put me on because your sister can write.
it's therapy. It's this conversation is therapy. You know,
Oh, me or you?
for both of us. I'm gonna send you a bill later. Don't worry. It's gonna be all right. It's therapy.
All right. So the
So
world gets to hear I'm on the couch already, so might as well. Um,
exactly. I mean,
what was the other thing? So I had Manny sing, right?
yeah, you have many saying. We already discussed this, and it's not happening.
Gosh, I think the world needs to hear you sing.
They can on Spotify. Don't look at me like that. Don't give me that look.
Is
Don't
it
give me.
working?
Huh?
Is it working?
No, no. Ooh, okay. No, still not working.
I
I
ain't got
know.
nothing else. So again, um, let's see. Where since he doesn't want to sing, you guys, I'm so sorry that he doesn't want to sing and he really can sing.
It's not that I don't. I'm actually I'm home right now, and
You
there's people.
what?
So I said I'm home, and there's people trying to go to sleep. So I can't be, because as soon as I start, the dog's gonna start barking, the little girl's gonna wake up, and then I'm gonna be in trouble.
I understand now.
So
So again, I have listened to your art and it was uh I was like, wow, this is cool. I listened to I went back and actually I think I went on YouTube to find some of Manny's things and I was like, these are timeless hits because again, it puts you in the mindset of when you fell in love with music, when
right,
you fell in love with the pen. Um, and it gives you in I'm inspired. I'm actually feel some type of way from you saying put it out there that it's not just, like sometimes you sing and you do things and because they don't react or they don't choose you, you feel like, well, maybe this was all in my head, but really it's not.
right.
And so, again, to have the encouragement to put something out there that 9 times out of 10, somebody else is feeling the same way. They've been through the same thing you've been through,
Mm-hmm.
and you got to tell it. Sometimes it's not easy, you know, dropping a bone out of your mouth sometimes.
Not going to be easy. It's never going to be easy. There's never going to be a right time or a perfect time to do it. You just have to just go for it. You know.
So, how do you feel with, everybody takes some things personal when it
Mhm.
comes to your art? And that particular song you might have put in, I don't know how long it takes you to do a song, when you put in all of that and that song was not chosen. How do you deal with that?
Move on to the next thing. I've done that. I've done that several times. I mean, I've been in situations where I'm like in the studio and I'm like, yeah, this is going to be it. This is, everybody. This is going to be in the movies. Everybody's going to call. It's going to go crazy, and nothing happens with it. And then there's songs that I've been in the studio and I'm like, yeah, I can't stand this song. Delete it. Go back, record a verse, delete that. Nah, I hate this. Put it away. Go back to it 2 days later. Record it. Nah, I hate this song. It's done though. Whatever. Submit it, and it ends up on Friday Night Lights. Or it ends up on something like I'm like, there's no rhyme or reason. You just never know. You never know. Personal favorites. I have personal favorites, but everything will strike at the time that it's supposed to be. It's not. I have this understanding that I'm not. It's not my time. It's not my time. It's not your time. We're all here on God's time. You know what I'm saying? So it's like everything is going to fall into place when it needs to. So
Absolutely.
you
So
okay?
how did you come up with Northern League? I mean, the name, it's the label, right? Or is
Northern League.
it,
So Northern League. It was and is the group, and Northern League is now morphing into Northern League Recordings, where we're going to be my partners Joe and Dave. We're going to actually be creating the label out of Northern League, and expanding it again throughout genres, and working with new hip hop. I don't like to say old hip hop, but new hip hop. That classic good street vibe hip hop, and yeah, this is going to be a new journey for us. But being we're from the north, and we've all of us, we teamwork, you know, no man left behind type thing, type mentality. Yeah, we're morphing Northern League, the group, into Northern League Recordings, and hopefully the future will be bright for everybody that we get involved with. We're going to be starting off with a young artist named Ammo Gift, another artist named V, another artist that we have named Hush, which are incredible young talent, incredible talents. There'll be singles dropping out, you know, through the next couple of months and into the summer and into the end of the year, you know, as well as music for myself. So yeah, so we'll be doing that. We're also the next level. Right now, we have the column in the Compulsive magazine, uh, Dr. Cookie's magazine, and our column, Joe and I's column, is called For the Record. So the next level of FTR will be we're spinning it into a podcast.
Podcast. Yes, I saw that.
We will
Yeah.
be shooting a live podcast and going one on one, having that conversation, about life, about music, about mental health, about sexuality, about all that stuff. Everything that makes everyone tick.
Yes, a human.
Yeah, and then we'll get into that, and who knows? Sky's the limit for that. Because at
Yeah,
that
I saw that was it yesterday or the day before? And I was like, okay. And that's a good thing for to have the conversation. Um, I guess not I guess. I know last year God personally told me that I was gonna become the help that I once needed. Whatever that looks like, whether it's the mental part, whether it's the sexuality part, whether it's the advice part, the help part, whatever that is, to other people. So many people have so much to say, but no place to say it.
right,
It's in a right, safe place to say it. I'll say that. Well, there's no judgment zone because half the time I've been there, done that. You just don't know.
right,
And so a lot of times it's the conversations that needs to happen of you helping me in therapy of saying, look, what you said, what I heard, stop censoring yourself and actually say it. Actually get out and do it. The only part of not doing it or the what if, stop, turn that off.
right.
What if they like it? Then what? Instead
Well,
of the opposite of thinking, oh, they're not gonna like this or what I got to say. And so again, those moments of the balanced life, um, music is my therapy. So singing, writing, just listening to it, whether it's working, whether it's the mood music, just to calm down, or just go back to old school Earth, Wind, and Fire, which
okay.
I was playing today. Earth, Wind, and Fire, the barge, all those type of music to like put you back into the memory. What were you doing when this song came on? And
What's
so
what's your go-to?
my go-to, oh, I have so many. I can't even choose.
What's your go-to love song?
Love song?
Yeah.
Oh, hmm. Um, oh, actually Ribbon in the Sky.
Okay.
I sung it to my husband on our wedding day.
All right. Wait, original Ribbon in the Sky? The original, right? Because there's a lot of versions of that song.
So what I did was somebody had knocked the key down
Yeah.
and added some things to it. And I said on YouTube. So I, did what I did. And I wrote personal lyrics to it in the ad lib part. And so I never told anybody except the my wedding coordinator and the preacher that was marrying us that I was going to do it. So my husband had no clue at all. And when I tell you this man cried, He cried. And then I had, our last name in it and all of this stuff. And he was just like, wow. And for everybody to, because no one knew, you hear, or they want to put you in a box like you just sing in a choir, you just sing in church. I'm not just church. Trust me.
The, the person that you were that day who wrote those lyrics personally is the person that you need to be all the time.
Absolutely.
Can't say that. I can't stress that enough. I had a very long, powerful conversation with a good friend of mine today, and she told me that I need to I need to I need to choose my words and I need to use my words because people actually listen to what I'm saying, and I need to be more of a mentor, and I need to be more present in people. When I see people that are positive and powerful, I need to be very present in that person's life. And I'm telling you, you're positive and powerful. That person that you were that day is who you need to be going forward. Because if you made him cry, just think of how many other people you're going to touch with your words, your songs, your spoken word, whatever you may do. So,
Wow.
you know, like
I'm
you
trying not to
him cry.
I did. And it wasn't that day I wasn't nervous. Like sometimes you're it's a different type of crowd when you're not in church because I'm very comfortable. And it was in front of our family, and I actually wrote that it's in front of our family and friends that we said I do today. It was all of that. And I grabbed the mic, I looked him directly in his face, in his eyes, and I meant every word that I said. And when I tell you, by the time I got to the end of before I even got to the special part, he was already crying. After I said it, he was crying more and more. His best man, I'm looking at the video, the pictures, the best man, his brother, all the dudes like, man, y'all need to stand up. That was, I mean, I'm like,
Down. You broke them all down.
and so I want sometimes for music to get back to the genuine love of, like, when I watch certain movies, like what's the one where Queen Latifah was the cousin of Sanaya Nathan, and was it Ty Diggs? Tay Diggs?
Yep. What was that movie?
Brown Sugar.
Good movie.
So of course, when they asked the question, when did you fall in love with hip hop? Instead of saying hip hop for me is music in general, but it's love songs. Cause that's what I saw.
Right.
I was telling Manny, like, listening to My Joy put me in the mindset of when my dad grabbed me by the hand and said, follow me. And he put me on his feet and was socializing, slow dancing with me. And that was my first love of dance, my first moment that another man um, took me by my hand. Is like, so that was my thing of actually wanted to dance. I knew a love song, Luther Vandross, Patti
Yeah.
LaBelle,
Yes.
Peebo Bryson, like all of these played constantly. And
Right.
so with my dad being deceased, I have that moment of when I first fell in love with music.
Right. Yeah. I can get all that. When you speak about your father, I have a song called "Dear Love," which was probably the most difficult song I've ever written. And I have a best friend that grew up with me, and he listened to the song and he sat there, he started crying, and he was like, "Yo, how did you do that?" Because I lost my dad when I was in my 20s probably. And I lost my dad. I have no time. you know how time just kind of stands still when you lose a person and you just have no recollection of when it happened or how it happened or whatever. I lost my dad when I was young, let's just say younger, and then I just recently lost my mom. So that song was kind of to them, just like a celebration of them, you know, and what they instilled in me. I saw my dad get up hurt, tired, sick every day. He would just work, 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 work. So I get my work ethic from him. You know what I mean? I get he would work and then he would come home, you know, at night and move all the furniture in the house and clean the rugs and do all that stuff. So he was just a worker, but he was also I saw him sweep my mom off her feet. You know what I mean? Like he would cook, he would joke with her, the flirting never stopped. You know what I mean? So it was just so much love there. And after my dad passed, it was I'm one of five. I have two brothers and two sisters. So it was like for me, like my mom it, is everything always. So I couldn't I wouldn't move, I wouldn't go away. I would always check on her, always have to, call her, make sure. We did Tyler Perry's Medea's Big Happy Family. We did the trailer for that movie. I had shut my studio down and I call and they're like, yo, we got this opportunity, Tyler Perry, this, blah, blah, blah. We need a trailer. Okay, when you need it? We need it back 24 hours. Like, okay. I just shut my studio down. I just told everybody I don't have anything. All my equipment was in my mom's basement, like on the floor, on the couch, or whatever. So I created that trailer by piece in her basement, holding the microphone this way because I got nothing really going on. Speakers are on a stand. It was a mess, and I get so much joy. The memories of just hearing my mom, because one of the guys that was singing with me was hitting this note, and then I can hear my mom in the background giggling because he was cracking every now and then, and I have little memories of that stuff that just keep me going, and it keeps me filled with love and emotion and everything. And there were so many different moments in my life with her that I remember her being like in awe of. We're watching a show and I'm not telling her that I'm involved with the show at all, and all of a sudden she hears my voice, come across the TV, and she's like looking at me like, what is that? How did you do that? You know what I mean? So it's just family to me is everything. And you know, the loss of both my parents, it put me in a whole totally different place. Um, lose When you lose, I don't know if you still have your mom or not. You, you, you still have your
Yeah, I had to. My mom, actually, I live where I live. My mom is right downstairs, but I had to be the one because I'm the oldest. I
right.
had to help her put the pieces together. They
Okay.
were together for however old I am.
Yeah.
She was they were together since I was my infant. He wasn't my biological father, but he's all I knew.
Okay.
And so he was sick. My dad was a kidney patient for 18 years.
Mm.
And when we got the call, and he'd been in and out of the hospital over years. Um, and when we got the call, I said, "This is my personal Superman, and I'm probably gonna write about him." I seen him beat death several times, die on a table to come back to life, to tell me, "Look, write the vision and make it plain," personally to me. Um, and when they said it was over, I was like, "Nah,
Can't be.
Nah, Superman beat death. Nah,
Yeah.
he's still, and to go and view his body, and it was a purple room, and before blue was my thing, purple was my thing, and I thought, Daddy, you funny. You in the purple room, laid out on this whatever they called it, with the tube still in his mouth, and he looked like at any moment he was gonna wake up and like I was just playing,
Right.
and he never got up. So those moments of I couldn't cry, I couldn't make a noise, I was
I hear you.
stuck.
You lost
Like
track. Everything stopped for you.
everything stopped. I forgot who was in the room, where we were. And I didn't have those moments of really grieving because I had to make plans
Right.
for my Superman. And my mom was like, I can't do it. I just want us to show up. I don't want no parts. So here I am. I gotta be the one. I had to call my brother and sister. I had to call the family. I had to make arrangements. I had to do all of it. And when the time came that the reality was what it was, um, music. Oh my God. They went to close the casket and I lost it. Like in my mind, I'm saying, Daddy, don't leave me. Now that's a song. Daddy,
Yeah.
don't leave me. Nothing came out and I was stuck. Like that was my best friend. Now what I'm gonna do? Now I gotta
You feel like
how do you live life
right.
without this man who made you smile even when he was tired? All of these things. And for a long time, I couldn't listen to music because all I thought was him, us dancing, all of these things. My dad loved music.
You feel
So,
alone with people.
huh?
Feel like you're alone in a room full of people.
Listen, it was so much going on in the background. I was married but separated in the own same house. It was so much things that I'm like, Dad, why now? I need you now. Like, and so I had to reinvent myself. How you do that? I had to go back to my first love, music. I had to go back
Full
to
circle.
have, yes, I had to go back to in the beginning, there was, there was God. Like,
Yeah.
and I had to change my mindset because I was going to be stuck forever. Because that person introduced me to so much that I loved. And now, like, even in the moments, like right now, like having a moment of, dang, Dad, I wish I could have those moments where we could just talk. Let's get in the car and just drive and listening to her. I had my first road trip with my mom. And our thing was when we did road trips, this music, I instantly put on Earth, Wind, and Fire. And we went from that to Luther to Freddie Jackson to the bars to all of these things. And I'm remembering when I'm a kid in the back seat, um, listening to all this while he drove us everywhere. So now the roles is different. And so now it's like I appreciate the timeless music that once um, I never took advantage of it. It was always safe. It was always honest. And that's where music needs to go back to. The music when you remember when the first time you went to when you went when you went to your first family reunion, when you went to your first dance, all of these things all play a part in what was played.
Yeah. See, you needed that. You needed me today for this therapy section.
Yes, maybe so.
Sponsored by Keeping It Real.
Absolutely. If I ain't want to mess up this makeup, I probably would have cried.
Oh, don't, you can't cry, because if you start crying, I'm gonna cry with you. It's only fair, but we don't want to do that right now. But
Yeah, it was very much needed. Sometimes being the strong one, being the one that's connecting everyone, sometimes you do have a woosah moment. Even though it's on camera, it's okay. I still look good.
you have to. You're doing good. You're doing good. So you okay?
Mm-hmm. I am.
Right. Hold it all together. I'm giving you a hug.
Right. I am okay.
Good, good.
So again, I'm grateful for this moment. I did not know this was gonna go this way. I have no clue, no idea. And this is why I love doing what I do because it's definitely genuine. I have no clue. I don't make up questions. It is real as it can be. Whether it go left or it go right, it is definitely truly the
This
honest
is
moment.
this is just the first of our conversations. We'll have more conversations, in the near future. So I'm um I'm happy to know you. So,
Absolutely. Um, it is it's a pleasure to be able to connect with people who are, like you said, like-minded. I had no clue about your parents, and we have something in common. I mean, outside of music, now that we have this and this understanding, again, we already talked, so
absolutely.
um, I needed this for the inspiration to really release my music. Um, to tell what's in my heart, what's on my mind. I'm sure somebody has been through that. I still have to write the difficult part of the part in my brain what I shut off because
Right.
my Superman is gone.
Yeah.
And
It's the Superman thing came up again today with again the same person I talked to earlier. I asked her. I said, "Who does Superman turn to when he needs someone to talk to?" And the normal thing would be Lois, but if Lois is not there, where does Superman go? Like, you know, we all have our Superman, we all have our Wonder Woman in our life, and then if they're gone, you feel like you're alone on this planet, just trying to figure it all out. But in those particular cases, you leave it all up to God, and He always gets you through. Period. He never ever will fail you, ever. So
and he'll bring somebody like you or somebody like Cookie or those moments when you see um I want to say the shadow of him
yep,
or dad would love this. Dad would get a kick out of meeting this person and this and just to see where I was. This was in 2016. I have evolved a lot
yeah,
since 2016. And
you're
so
writing.
to hear,
Yeah, you're writing your movie right now, and I'm blessed to be. I'm thankful and grateful to be a character in your movie right now. So hopefully I'll have a long lasting. You're not gonna just write.
listen, you gotta let me know how to get the bag. We definitely gonna be what?
You know,
What?
I'm
Listen,
trying to be present in your movie. So
absolutely. Forever. Forever and never and never. And because we're all connected in the bigger picture,
absolutely.
bigger scheme of things, the compulsive and compulsive magazine, the Blacktop Streetball Association, all of this good stuff that the world has not
Maine and Shane, that was my man,
named,
my brothers right there.
Shane, all of them, and all of this. Um, I've never met Shane and Main Event in person yet, but those are definitely my big brothers.
They're crazy.
Um,
They're crazy. Both of them are crazy.
Absolutely. But Main Event has definitely changed the course of my life. And I know it's all God sent. He's constantly putting me on with people. So he believes in me. And that's important to me, now that I have other brothers who believe in me too. So
Funny thing with those with Maine and Shane was when I first met them, I told Maine because they were in a video game, Street Hoops, I think, Xbox. And I had a song in that video game called We Hot Now. And I was like,
wow.
I used to use you guys as characters on Xbox. And he's like, I said, I got a song in that. And he's like, for real. And it was just ever since then they just been cool, man. So whenever I see him, it's just like, what up, man? What up, Shane?
And the biggest thing there, even as big as life as they are, they're
Yeah,
very humble.
yeah,
Very.
good dudes, good
So
brothers. You know, so yeah. And Dr. Cookie as well, just a wonderful woman. So
yeah,
I
I
don't
had her not too long ago on the show, her and Julia. So shout out to them. I think they're supposed to be in LA tomorrow
yeah, we're not
with their anniversary. So congrats to them as well. I know we have been on this for so long now. We are way over an hour. And
I'm
you
sorry.
no, you're okay. I'm just saying like it when you start to talk and open up about something that you love, it time flies when you're having fun.
I'm not
So
gonna charge you any extra hour for the therapy session. Don't worry about it. It's on us.
listen, you owe me a song.
Okay, maybe a duet or something like that.
I I wait, what?
You want me to send you a track?
Listen, do it. See what happens. Don't play.
All right, I
Don't
got you.
play. Don't have me have some good time. Be like, I'll be at work tomorrow with the earbuds like, let me write this down
Right.
and send it to you. Don't play with me. Don't play. Go ahead. Send me something. See what happens.
We'll see.
I'm hungry as it is. Don't play.
But from my heart, I thank you very much. I'm so grateful for you. I appreciate you. Thank you for having me. And
Anytime, anytime. So again, thank you. Again, I want you guys to like, share, subscribe, do what you do. Remember, you are one person away, one advice away, one help away from where you need to be in your destiny. Good night, Ace. Make sure you send that so I can
I
get on it.
got you. I got you. Good night.
See ya.